Thank you. So let me tell you a little bit about Marty Bergen, who I've known forever. And I'm so excited that he got voted into the Hall of Fame long overdue. When first time I ever saw Marty, I was a teenager and I had heard of Marty Bergen. And I went to a tournament that decided to give us. And I walked in and I sat down behind Marty, who was quite an imposing figure back then. He was kind of big, and he just was like a very noticeable kind of figure in the room. And I sat down behind him on the very first deal. He had 5 clubs to the jack, nothing else. And he was in third seat, favorable vulnerability, pass to him. And as I later learned from him, he had an expression among his many expressions: third seat, favorable, is not pretty. That was one of his expressions. And sure enough, he opened the bidding 3 clubs. I was astonished. This was in the 1970s, and I had learned that to open 3 clubs, you'd have 7 good clubs, not 5 to jack. And it worked out well, and the rest is kind of history. We all know that Marty was one of the pioneers of the kind of annoying, reckless preempting that has now become fairly routine in the bridge world, but he was well ahead of his time in that disruptive bidding. Now, I think a lot of you associate me with the love of total tricks, but if you really know the history, it was Marty who first brought it to prominence in this country. He read about it, and he loved it. He taught it to me, and when we were partners, we relied on it all the time. And so many of the bids we use today are based on it. Certainly Bergen raises are based on getting to the 3 level with 9 trumps. And there's so many things in bridge bidding today that we all do routinely, like 1 heart, take out double, 3 hearts, because we have 9 trumps. So many of these theories are because of Marty. He really did revolutionize competitive bidding. So Marty, I think, deserves this honor and has long deserved it on so many levels, certainly as a player, as a teacher, as a writer. I mean, Points was the best books on bridge, one of those famous books. And most of all, as an innovator, he really did change the game and the way we bid. Now, Marty couldn't be here tonight, so we're going to play a recording from him, but he did want me to tell everyone, not just thank you all of you for being here, but also to congratulate the other recipients of awards tonight. So I think we're going to roll the tape of Marty, and I think you'll be seeing the tape soon, I hope. Okay.
I was pleased to learn that I had been voted into the Bridge Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, I have severe issues with my back, so traveling to Providence was out of the question. I want to thank those who chose to vote for me. In addition, there definitely are a few others who I'd like to thank. First, of course, for her help and patience in putting up with me over the years, my wonderful wife, Cheryl. Next is my longtime friend, Richard Oshlag, who arranged for me to begin writing a monthly column in the ACBL Bulletin in 1976. In addition, over the years, Richard has also helped me greatly in many other ways. The many students and friends who have edited my books and booklets have also been great. Number one of those is my good friend Fran Fryman, who also helped me greatly with organizing classes. Another good friend is Howard Schutzman, who invented the wonderful process that led to our very popular interactive AV online lessons. Last but definitely not least is Larry Cohn, my good friend of 45 plus years, and without question, my favorite partner. Thanks very much, Larry, for all you have done for me over the years. I began playing seriously in the late 1970s and chose to leave the tournament scene in the early 90s, so I had a very short playing career. I do want to thank Larry for his very generous comments in the March 20th Daily Bulletin in Reno, where he compared my short playing career to that of legendary baseball pitcher Sandy Koufax. It is true that we both had brief, successful careers. It's also true that we have the same religious affiliation. Alas, in all other respects, comparing me and my modest achievements to those of one of the greatest pitchers in baseball history qualifies as a significant overbid. I would like to believe that over the years, I have made significant contributions to Bridge with my conventions and writing. I am a teacher at heart, so I've tried hard to improve bidding knowledge and techniques for players of all levels. Unfortunately, in this point count, our everything world we live in, most of my ideas on hand evaluation have fallen on deaf ears. Oh well, Bridge is the best game of all, and I love it. Not a day has gone by in the last 60 years that I haven't thought about bidding and card play. Although I'm content to limit my playing these days to occasional forays on BBO, I know that my obsession with this game will never change. I hope everyone has a good tournament. Best wishes, and most importantly, please stay safe.
Congratulations, Marty. Well deserved. Okay, comes for the last time. I've been left a note from some anonymous person here. It says, if your son wants a job tomorrow, forget about the roast and go with the toast. I don't know. I'm being threatened. But I don't know how many of you people know that my son Mike teaches with Bridge with Larry. Did you do that video? He did the video with Marty, so if you like it, it's Mike's. If you don't like it, what? Anyway, Larry and I go way back. He came to me and said, I got to know what kind of partner you're going to be. I grew up with Ron Gerard. When Ron Gerard opened two spades, he had the king, the queen, the jack, and the 10, the 9, and the 8. And maybe a few more. Okay? And then I saw him play with Marty Bergen, and we opened two spades. The opponents could make 6 spades, which was true. And he says, which one are you? And I said, which one do you want to be? Which one do you want me to be? And he said, be yourself. I just need to know what you're going to have. That's all I want to know. That's all he wanted to know was what he can rely on me. So I said, well, I'm not going to be like Ron, and I'm not going to be like Marty. I'll be somewhere in between. Of course, you could drive a truck in between those two. But at any rate, it's interesting that we're here in Providence, which is near Boston. Larry's first major triumph, 1980 Spingle. He won with Ron Gerard, Stauber, Rosner, and Sutherland and Ralph Katz. Is Ralph here? Well then, and Sutherland. And Ralph. They won, that was his first record is, of course, impeccable, and, well, thankfully, I was there to see some of them. I was making a list of things that I could talk about here tonight, and then my wife came to me and said, "You can't say that." And then my kids, who are both here, said, "No, no, no." And then Maria actually threatened me. That's his lovely book. Okay? So I'm told that I'm supposed to limit myself to the weather in Utah and the Yankees. Are the Yankees win tonight? He's taking it. That's right. If you want to get on Larry's bad side, tell him the Yankees score. If you want to really get on his bad side, tell him the Jets score. We don't discuss the Jets anymore, because being a Jet fan is, after all, a lifetime of misery and suffering. We all know that. Okay, Larry, playing with him, it's a terrific honor. You knew that when he would go into a study, no matter what happened, he would always get it right. I mean, you could wait for 2 or 3 minutes, he would invariably play the card that you wanted him to play. He would always make the bid that you wanted him to bid. He was unbelievable, uncanny. And I can't believe he's left Bridge so that he wants to teach all these people how to beat our brains in. He's teaching them how to play, he's teaching them how to bid, he's teaching them, he's got these webinars and seminars and cruises and this and that. And in fact, I just recently heard that his biggest, actually his greatest achievement in life has just come through. I just heard, and you'll have to take it from me, this is big. Nothing to do with Bridge. He has just taken over the lead in the South Florida Bridge Players Golf Tour, running Lifetime 1. I'm told that he's moved into the lead. It's really unfair because he plays all his rounds with our friend Victor, and he gets paid in zlotys. It doesn't seem fair, but he's moved into the league. I won't tell you who he passed. And I'm really annoyed at this, but I think since his golf game is getting better, and all the rest of ours, except for maybe Gary and Michael, I'm getting worse, I know that. But his pride and joy is his golf game. So the fact that he is a career money leader on our little tour, Jones is on our tour, we won't discuss your statistics because it could be in trouble. Excuse me? He's ahead of me this year. Is that true, Michael? Yes. There you go. Okay, so let me tell you a little story about Larry and how one of the reasons he won as much as he did. There are people who win more than they should and people who don't win as much as they should. Larry was always an overachiever. Everybody was rooting for him. And the best thing I can tell you about that was we were playing in a regional in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Any of you been in Hot Springs, Arkansas? Okay, we're playing in a regional. We're playing these 2 nice ladies. And on the first hand, we play 4 spades, and the spades split something, and we go down. And then the next hand, we play 3 hearts and go down there. And then we save, and we go for 500, 5 diamonds total. And this goes on for 5 boards. And on the 6th board, we're at 1 no trouble. 1 no trouble. And somehow or the other, we eke out 7 tricks. And the lady gives the biggest, beaming, sweet smile ever. And I look at her and I say, can you tell me why you're so happy? She says, "Oh, you boys are so nice. I was afraid if you went down one more time, you'd get fired." It's a true story. You can verify it? There you go. There you go. We never made a contract. At any rate, everybody rooted for Larry. I mean, we would come to an end of a pair game, and I felt bad for the people we played at the end. We would be sitting there, and he would have like 30 or 40 kibitzers, and they were all rooting like heck for us to win. And the people just wanted to finish playing and get out of Dodge. They just said, here, take all the tricks. So if anybody came to us at the end and said, how'd you do on the last round or two? We said, well, we got all tops because nobody wanted to play us. They just wanted us to win and leave. Okay? He was like a perfect partner. He would just sit there. He would never complain about me. He wouldn't let me complain about him. If I did, he would. And he trained me to be a very good partner. And more important than being a good partner, he wanted us to be really well respected and liked at the bridge table. But more important than at the bridge table was what he meant to my family. Not a week went by where Uncle Larry would show up at our house, and both my kids, to this day, will tell you, they wish he was their father. They will both tell you. However, one day, Mike came home and said, we almost lost Anna in a whitewater rafting incident, but Larry saved her. She was about 8. And I said, okay, don't tell Mom. And then, a little while later, we come home from Gatlinburg. And what would you bring home from Gatlinburg for the kids? Fireworks. Okay, we brought home fireworks and fireworks. My wife looked at me and she says, I'm going to kill you. And I said, Larry brought them. She said, I'm going to kill you. Okay, so what else can I say about Larry? He's everything that's good about bridge. He's everything that's good for bridge. Everyone in the room is like, you know, he says that Marty did the law of total tricks. Yes, Marty did the law of total tricks. Marty was one of the instigators, but Larry wrote the book, you know, the law of total tricks. It's in his second or third printing. He's also written millions of books. He's taught my son how to write. I'd like to think that I had a little something to do with helping him write. Of course, he traded with me on the floor of the stock exchange for 15 years, 20 years. And I think we worked on our partnership in 2 or 3 days. And that was it. We just traded and we played bridge, and he's the best buddy anybody could have. And he's got Maria, and they're in Utah, and life is good. So, come on up.
Thank you. This is so special to me, and I got off easy. David could have been so much meaner. So. Thank you, David. Well, there are so many people here to thank, and I'm not going to name too many names, but the two sitting next to me, I just want to start with. And a lot of you know, since the last 20 years, I've been doing bridge cruises and teaching, and you know who's with me every time, and she's been a big part of my career. And then the other person sitting next to me, let me give you a little bit of background. I learned bridge when I was 6 from my grandparents. And if they could be here tonight, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, they were incredible. Fortunately, they lived long enough to see my success in bridge, and they were so proud of me. You didn't want to be their neighbors that would hear the stories. But they taught me bridge when I was 6, and we had a 4th, who was my older brother. he was 10 at the time, and he's a very good player. He's been my best friend, and we're so close. My brother Paul Cohen, stand up also. But, I mean, really, everyone here, just about, I mean, I have teammates and partners, the Hall of Fame committee, all the people who voted, my people that I do the cruises with, the staff and the travel agency that I've been working with now for 20 years. Well, so many people here, friends, people I golf with that were mentioned. It's just like they're all here. And I'm so honored, but I kind of want to conclude with what's the most important part of bridge for me. And there's 2 tables over here, and at those 2 tables are players who have been on cruises with me, students. And that's what I live for now at Bridge, the thrill of teaching and having people have a good time at Bridge. I've just enjoyed that more than my career as a player. And it's so special to me to enjoy that part of Bridge and getting people interested in the game and loving the game. And I love this game. It's been my life. This is such an honor. I've been waiting for it for a long time, and then I had to wait 3 more years to be up here because of COVID. But it's really special, and I thank all of you sincerely for being here to share it with me tonight. Thank you very much.
Okay, before we wrap up, I have to tell you something. Larry, I don't know how many people know this, he is an antisocial creature. If anybody's thinking of inviting him to weddings, bar mitzvahs, christenings, anything of that nature, call my son Michael and he'll respond to Larry. He also says that if I didn't finish by 9 o'clock, he was leaving. And it's a couple of minutes to 9, so thank you all for coming.